Fantastic. Looks like we're live. Um, so that's just great. Get a little bit sorted here. Find my reference photo for today. Want. Okay. So um, to start the stream, and this will be for those who are watching the replay rather than those who are jumping into the stream, because I'm going to take this down in a minute. I thought I'd just start um, by showing this is the painting that I've just finished. I had been, I actually did it in end of last year, so around December 2023, and then I was really unhappy with it. It didn't feel right. So I came back to it and have touched it up for an exhibition I want to do, which I need to hurry up and get the bookings all sorted. And this is just to show what it looks like in a frame. So this is a standard get what the name of the company is that does this. But I got it from my local Spotlight, which they sell sort of craft stuff and fabric. My wife goes there and gets her fabric for sewing and patterns and what have you. They sell a whole bunch of stuff, including these frames. Frame Depot, that's what it's called. And the glass is just terrible. So you'll see reflections. So up here, over here, that's my studio light reflecting in it. You can see myself reflecting in it. If you put it on a wall out of the sun, it's okay. And so for an exhibition, it's totally okay. So the glass, though, you've really got to clean it up. Spend some time trying to clean this glass before you put the art in. It's really bad glass. What else can I tell you about it? Oh, so a normal frame for a pastel, it's probably about, for one this size, $250, $300. Hi to whoever's just joined. So I'm just talking about this. I've just framed this this artwork and explaining the frame. So whereas getting this from my local Spotlight was like $40. So totally usable for selling art. For one this size, I would get Perspex and replace the glass with Perspex for shipping purposes. That's enough about this particular picture. We're going to take this out and put in the one that I'm working on. So self-framed. I've been teaching myself not just how to paint, but how to frame as well. Although I must admit, when it comes to doing the wiring, that one I want to use, that. When it comes to doing the wiring, is it not moving? I get my wife to tie the knots. Oh, that one. Okay. Just make this a bit smaller. It's going to work on a taller painting. All right, let's grab the piece of art. See what we can do with this one. Okay, there we go. Get that safe. And I'll just have to reset my camera, sorry. So it's not in my way. And something like that. That should do. Okay, let's bring up the reference photo for you to see. There is a small one there, but pop it right there and transition. Okay, so that's the original photo that I'm working from. And I did this one, this was the first painting I did where I thought, boy, I might actually be onto something. And it was done in 21, so 3 years ago during the pandemic. And go back to that's my version. And if I just flip back to, I thought I did not a bad job actually. I'm going to think about how to perhaps touch it up a bit. And you change the lighting a little bit. I'm reluctant to do too much on this because it actually was a reasonable painting. But there's some work I want to do on her here. So I've learnt a lot more about hair since I first did this painting. That's what I'm going to do today. So the goal, of course, is I'm trying to get works that actually I might just zoom in a little bit for you. There's the water droplets actually came out quite good on here. Let's move this around a bit. We can get those water droplets on her arm to show. Okay. So very happy with that was the first time I'd done water droplets, and they seem to come out okay on her. Um, on her arm. This was the first time I started using turquoise as a colour, and fell in love with it. Zoom back out. Something like that should be okay. Right. So I'm gonna just try and work a little bit on her here. I'll probably not touch her dress too much. But I think I'm going to make this a little bit hazier with some more turquoise as well. Now this painting This painting was a mixture of some pan pastel in the hills and normal pastel sticks in the water. In fact, over the years, I've noticed the paper's buckled quite a bit. I suppose there's quite a bit of humidity in my studio. Think carefully about how I'm going to mount that. I will have a this particular one. I'll get a matte border. So see if we can find some shades. This one I think I'm going to do pencil work in more than anything else. Yep. When we do too many tools live anyway. Dot. Okay, that looks all right. Gonna put in. I just got to read the picture just to get back in the vibe of it. She's clearly been washing her hair. And I learnt from watching some pastelists who were doing cats. Very good one who did a black cat, and you just use blue pastel pencils for doing her painting, and I've learnt that blue seems to be a good colour for doing black hair. So she's got some sunlight coming in this spot here that I want to capture this time. Get some pan pastel going well in here. can sort of see when I was doing this the first time, trying to get some purples in there. Because you get kind of told blues and purples for shadows. Doesn't always work out. Like some of this. This is a indigo. And this is a pale ultramarine. I first started doing here, it was hard to know when to stop. Tendency to do every little strand of hair. And work something darker. Maybe the dark indigo. Looking for something a bit more umbery. We got here. It's burnt umber and umber. I burnt that. Been reading a book about the origins of colour, the history behind them. And there was a brown colour called mummy brown. And amazingly, it was made from mummified people. And you go, that's disgusting. The amount of colours that were created from the most disgusting things. The yellow, I think it was Indian yellow, and it was made by feeding elephants mangoes and then collecting their urine. It's how they got the pigment. It's like, are you joking? Just crazy. Surprisingly, a lot of colour was made from bodily waste. Urine was involved, and um, blood for one particular colour. Really just stunned. Gretchen, some blue. Looking for some really dark blue. You blue? You look black. It's the blue. I know some people, some artists really love to have sharp pencils when doing hair, but I've found it. I don't care. I think that's it. I don't care. I'm not trying to draw individual hair strands. I'm trying to capture the essence of the person and a suggestion. Um, Sometimes you won't get a line anyway, as you're just floating the pastel across the paper. It'll just get lots of little dots as it drags. Not a constant stream, and that's the eyes will just fill in all the detail for the viewer. You can get the sort of movement of the hair. That's what matters. Alrighty. Think about the lights in her hair. Color am I seeing? I'm seeing an undertone, deep red. While the light is shining on her here, a lot of bluishness going on. I suspect she has a brown black here. And we don't need to colour in her here. What will happen is the pastel will play together and surprisingly our eyes fill in all these gaps. So, a little bit of light going on there. And this is a French grey. Just pull a little bit of that for some highlights. Without going mental with it. Get some not trying to at least I'm not trying to get it exactly the same. That would be painful. But I do want to have the same direction here. Suggestions of warmth coming through. Okay. With pastel, I've learned it's a light touch, not a big thick touch. Not every stroke is gonna not every stroke's going to work for you. But you're doing lots of little ones. And together they're going to make the painting come together. To say go with turquoise going on there. Get it to stick. I've got quite a bit of layering now. So when I first did this painting, I really worked it and put a lot of layers on because I didn't really know what I was doing. I was just hoping it was going to come right. And got so many layers on now, I've got to be a little careful it doesn't go gluey. Okay, with that. Right. Pick up. Go. There's these little finishing bits that turn a painting from, oh, that's nice, to, oh, I like that. Just trying to get a bit of bulk in it here. If I can get this one framed properly, it does have a, it's got a bulge, and I think, let's just touch that in. Yeah, that's about a 5mm buckle in the paper. Have to rethink how I'm going to do that. Okay. Need something to clean them. Still want a bit more goldy red in her hair. So I suspect there's a reflection in her hair from her dress as well. And I wonder if I can just capture that. Just drop a little bit of red. Here anyway. And that probably doesn't show up for you, but it's keeping it light. All right, let me just step back and see. Oh, she's definitely, so the top of her hair is, that's way better than what. And I can see the brown coming through, so that's encouraging. Gulp my coffee, sorry. But it is creative juice, and I need it. And get is that red? Interesting sort of shape of hair. Do I have a pencil that's going to satisfy me? Actually, no, I think I have to go back to the pen pastel. It's slightly darker. And just get the turquoise to float on the top. Like, that's it. Used to be quite sort of nervous about using pan pastel on here. The more I use it, the more I think, oh, there's nothing wrong with it. Often in art, it's trying to find something that will give you an interesting mark. That's why you ever watch Bob Ross as he's painting his little trees. He'll have a special brush for doing the leaves, and it just gives a nice stippled effect. And in pastel, I'm looking for something that'll just give me a interesting effect. Right? It's cold in the garage where my studio is. I'm doing two. Good thing about glasses while I'm painting is that I can look over the top of them and everything goes blurry. Now, sometimes you have to look at a painting and defocus in order to get the mark you want. So light. Something super light. Should go back to that. There's some really goldy bits that I'd quite like to capture if I could. Okay. Yellow. Bit of sunlight. Goes from yellow to blue. Alrighty. Still haven't quite captured that light. How the blue have I got? Is it pale ultramarine? bring in some we got do we dare bring in some orange? It's more. I burnt orange. Let's get some orange. I probably should use some fixative. Want to. It will use some yellow ochre. Yeah. Gotta blend that in. Okay. Really clogging up my applicator, something phew. But I've got the color tones I want now. Matter of how to control them. Not knocking them back too far. Often what happens is I find you have some tentative strokes to begin with, and then once you find your way, they get bolder. going on up there. Here's a silicon shaper. Get a few lines going on and that here. Drag it into the shape I want it to be. Turn that up a little bit. I guess Pastel's like doing wet on wet, except you're doing dry on dry. And quite forgiving. Couple of little extra white lights going on. And we got to blend that a little bit more. Shape is quite good for rid of those edges. Use a pastel. Let me just step back and have a look. Oh, well, he's warmed up, so I'm happy with that. If I could actually get some of those colours down in here, I think we might have a painting on our hands. So a little more warmth. But overall, here's more imagination than where it had been. Who knew some turquoise and yellow in here would make it better? Intuitively, I guessed. Nice when it start to see it come together. Yellow. What? Not yet discovered. People use a pastel. Get something going on with some ivory. Get to it. Sometimes when you're standing really close, you can't tell. But, maybe a pink spectrum orange. About that. Sometimes I feel like I'm on the spectrum. That's not bad. It's definitely got more volume in here. Before it was quite black and flat. So I am happy with that. She needs green. And we've got to find the right green. Get into her here. Yeah, why green? Well, if you see all what's going on in that background, there's a tremendous amount of green in the water. And it's got to be reflected back up into her. Be making some sort of marks on her here. I've been reading a book about Da Vinci. Was it the Da Vinci one? No, it was one. It was the one about colour and Monet doing his haystacks, and he was looking at all the colours as they changed. He was fascinated by how colour would, during the day, just absorb other colours, even stone, reflecting it back. And that's what I'm trying to do with her, is that she needs to be picking up the greens of the that's reflected back at her. Anyway, I'm feeling more positive about her here than where it was at before. It's still not quite right. I find missing bit. Leonardo da Vinci could spend 16 years on Mona Lisa. I'm allowed 1 or 2 streams to get this right. Oh, that's lovely, sort of just when it flicks itself coming up. I mean, I'm just an inch or so away from the screen, so I know you can't see it, but suddenly I just have a moment where it's like, oh, it's just a moment sometimes in art where you go, oh, thank goodness. That's what I'm here for. I'm just here for those moments where you just keep trying and eventually it pulls itself together. How are we doing for time? About 3 minutes left on the stream. So let me zoom out and you can see the whole picture. I'll try and get it in a position where move it and get it in the frame. There you go. Out, out. What I'll do is I'll transpose the transition. All right, let me bring up the original reference photo. Go. So I really want to get more, and put my hand behind it, more mistiness going on in that in those hills. That would be quite a nice effect. So you'll see it's more sort of monocolor across here, and bring her up again. Yeah, it's not bad though. Her hair looks maybe on the camera it's not looking as good as not how I see it. I think that's not bad. It's just got more life in my view, or at least how I see things these days. You know, I may see things differently in a year's time and come back to this painting and go, what were you thinking? What was I thinking? But for now, I'm happy, and I will, I think in my next crack at this, just try and get more mist coming down here. And then I've got to think about all this, this rather unfortunate paper bowing. Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for coming to the stream. Really appreciate those who came along and had a nosy. Those who have watched this on the replay. I will be back streaming this time next week. All right. Till next time. Cheers.